The transcendency of art is a paradox. Although it may be associated with measurables, its power goes beyond sensate explanation. Art has a power to communicate in a language that does not incorporate dialect, race, socioeconomic status, gender, or age. Although there are people who might say they don't understand, say, visual art, they may have an extensive collection of music that they pride themselves in understanding as well as thoroughly enjoying. In another scenario, one might not appreciate the art of, say, dance performance, while classic literature may be a subject of adoration for that same person. All that is to say that art is exemplified in many expressions, of which it is common to neglect acknowledging some, if not many, of those expressions. It is notable to mention that everyone, by definition, is in fact an artist. Funk and Wagnall's Standard Dictionary states art as an aesthetically pleasing and meaningful arrangement of elements. Furthermore, it states that art is any system of rules or principles that facilitates skilled human accomplishment. By definition, art is in everything we do, from a simple barista who prides himself on a system that he has arranged in order to make the perfect espresso drink to, say, an accomplished speechwriter whose skills afford him eloquence, charisma, and undivided attention. Art is so ingrained in what we are that it is easy to see the correlation between the subject field humanities and that which it signifies, what makes us human. Growing up, I was exposed to a rich surrounding of artistic culture without even knowing it. My mother was gifted in drawing and other visual arts, while my father composed music using his guitar. Some of the staple television programs that we watched were on WTTW for oil painters such as Bob Ross, exemplifying talent and technique, as well as watercolor painters, woodworkers, and nature programs, which I feel gave me an appreciation for Earth as a creation itself, rather than a beautiful coincidence. My father prided himself with an extensive LP collection, which was constantly filling the air of our house during the time that he wasn't at work. We visited music festivals during the summers and tuned into WTTW and PBS's televised free concerts in the evenings. This rich enculturation shaped my worldview at a young age. Growing up in a sensate culture where reality is determined by what can be scientifically tested, quantified, and proven with the five senses, I felt challenged by my surroundings, where the humanities were not strongly acknowledged. Jean Piaget, a 20th century genetic epistemologist, offers an interesting perspective which helps bridge this gap. He says there are three stages of acquiring wisdom. The first of three is where everything fits together nicely. He labels this as our equilibrium. It's a box where our worldview exists. When a new idea, thought, or concept enters our conscience and doesn't fit into our tidy equilibrium, it causes us to go into the second phase of learning, called disequilibrium. And this phase causes us to reorganize our equilibrium in order to fit the new concept. The last phase is called paradigm shift. This is when wisdom has been obtained as our new equilibrium has been modified in order to fit the new concept. Some paradigm shifts are brief, while others require months or years of equilibrium renewal. The end result is acquired wisdom. And so I mentioned Piaget's theory of disequilibrium, as we have all experienced that common phenomenon, to offer encouragement for those of our sensate culture that may consider art a challenging concept. As we look at history, this graph tells us that we are heading towards an ideational cultural shift once again. This means culture will not only embrace a worldview contingent upon the hard sciences account, such as that of a sensate worldview, but also embrace the immaterial aspects of life, such as those concerning the soul, purpose in life, a creator, and moral absolutes which attest to a universal law, ethics, and good versus evil. It is an ideational worldview that also acknowledges the humanities as transcendent, unexpendable, and an essential characteristic which makes us human. Now that you've learned how valuable art is, my challenge to you is to break through your equilibrium and find the creator in yourself.